Hey everyone, I'm Morgan.
And I'm Paul. We are MTG North, and Crimson Vow spoilers are out, Morgan. Let's start there.
Yeah, it's this week. Pre-releases this week. A lot of cool stuff with Crimson Vow. I like vampires, so I'm excited for this. I think it's pretty cool.
Set boosters are delayed, though, eh? We'll get that right out of the way right now.
Set boosters are delayed.
Don't pay an inflated price
No, don't.
to scalpers for set boosters.
Draft boosters will be available, that's it, till next week. Then collectors, and who knows about the delay with the set boosters. Have they said how long?
No, not yet, but I don't think it's very long. Yeah. So don't pay 180 Canadian or something ridiculous for a box, because there will be more. Don't worry.
Let's fire off right into some of these, the special variants of the Dracula stuff.
What are you liking, Morgan?
Dude, Castle Dracula looks awesome.
Yeah, that's a pretty sweet looking card.
Man, that's a cool looking card. Is that the buy a box, Castle Dracula?
I think so, isn't
it? Yeah, I hope so, because that's
it is.
Really good. Count Dracula, Sorin, right?
The Mythic?
Yep.
Yeah.
What's that? That's a pretty penny right now still, and
it's pre-selling at around 70 US. Never buy something before the set comes out.
You gotta wait till price settle down a little bit. Stuff's gonna get open, right? So price will settle. That's not always true. Look at Ragavan. It went up.
Look at Jewel Lotus, but that's one in thousands.
It's still holding some good value.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Sorin as Count Dracula. We got Dracula Voyager.
From Star Trek, Voyager?
Yeah, the Voyeur Dracula. He's peeping at you.
Yikes.
Look out. That is Edgar himself. The reprint, not a reprint of the mythic Edgar from Commander, but they brought Edgar as a rare. As a rare.
The Charmed Groom.
Yep.
Morgan.
Dracula Blood Immortal. Another Dracula. They're going to do... And all these cards I'm mentioning have the alt art variant of the Dracula, right? Kind of like the Godzilla.
Yeah, so there's box toppers again, right?
Yep.
This is where you'll be able to get these, and collector boxes too.
Yep. You got Dracula Lord of Blood, the Voltaren Emerald Gel Bloodcaster.
Oh, I love the Voltaren Emerald Gel.
My back feels good. So that's I'm excited for those. I think the artwork on those cards looks fantastic. They did a great job with Dracula. These cards are like the Godzillas, right?
From Ikoria.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So it has your Count Dracula across the top, and then in a little banner underneath it says the actual name of what card it's copying, right? Unknown fact, maybe?
Oh, it's known, but not widely known.
They acquired the rights for Dracula stuff for free, right? Because nobody owns that, right, Paul?
Yeah, it's open domain.
Open domain. But Godzilla...
Is not.
They had to pay to acquire the licensing to use the Godzilla names.
So what does that mean, Morgan?
It means you're most likely not going to see a reprint of the Godzilla cards.
Because they have to pay to reuse the license.
That's right, to reuse the license again. But Dracula...
It's free.
It's free, so they could reprint those all year, right?
Yeah, they can be reprinted anytime. Probably in the list.
So maybe not worth investing into? I don't know.
Cautiously, right?
Very cautiously.
If you like the card and you're going to play it, by all means, buy it. But... from an investment standpoint, not as good as Ikoria, I would say.
Not if you're going to spend, what, $280 on 4 Sorinans to play in Standard? Ouch.
I mean, you could be a high roller, but...
I mean, I guess so, right? Some more things about Crimson Vow. Ascendant Pack Leader is one of them. It's a 1-drop green wolf. I think that's going to fit well into Standard.
Are these your picks then? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah,
these are your highlighted cards.
These are the cards I think that will do well in Standard.
That aren't the obvious ones, right? Like Kaya's, I thought, we talked about it earlier, was a pretty good card straight out of the gate, right?
It is. And
a 3-drop.
Yep. Black-white. Another one I thought looks pretty neat is called Alvinwald Oddity.
That is a tongue twister.
And it's a cool-looking beast, man. It transforms. It does something really cool. On the
Look at the points on that rack, Morgan.
Yeah, man.
Holy.
What does it do on the backside there?
It becomes an 8/8 with the same thing. Other creatures you control get +1/+1, have trample and haste.
Yeah, so trample and haste.
It's a good turn 4, right? And then you could ramp or just eventually make it even stronger if it doesn't data removal.
Yeah, it just ends the game as long as you don't lose it, right?
Yeah, it's a threat.
Another cool card was Curse of Hospitality. Red card, 3-drop, enchant player. And what does it do, Paul?
Creatures attacking enchanted player have trample. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to that player, the creature's controller basically gets to exile the top card of the opponent's library, and they can play that card.
And they can spend mana as any color, right?
So it works no matter what you're playing against.
I mean, mono red standard could be getting strong again here. You got Curse Hospitality, and I want to point out another card on the list here was Chandra, Dress to Kill. That's a pretty good 3-drop Planeswalker for mono red.
Some more mono red, I like it.
Yep. Its -7's pretty good, and it's got 2+1s.
Yeah, we'll see how the card advantage plays out on that curse, right?
Yeah.
You get card advantage, but it's against your opponent.
You're casting
using their deck, so.
I mean, do you know how many times that somebody's what was that card? Yeah, the other card I'm thinking about there is called Robber of the Rich.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it does the same thing. And to be honest, in standard games, man, I've been wrecked by Robber of the Rich. It's pulling my good stuff off the top, and that I was supposed to get next turn, and now I'm not, and I draw lands. It can really disrupt the flow of the game.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be a good card. I think you got Headless Rider. That's a
zombie maker, right?
Yeah, right. So, whenever another non-token creature.
Actually, it's just non-token zombie.
Oh yeah, so whenever a non-token zombie dies, you create a 2/2 zombie, and it doesn't have Decayed like from that last set, which is terrible. Stupid Decayed. Anyways, and of course Edgar himself. They made Edgar a rare in this set.
Yes, because Kaya was already in those colors.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to make 3 colors in this set, Mero said.
Yep. So.
Yeah, it is what it is. I don't know, he's a pretty good card still.
That's what I thought.
Like financially he's going to drop, just like Tovolar.
Yep.
Right?
Yep, he's basically Tovolar for vampires, right? Instead of werewolves. That's what you got, your vampire lord, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was our kind of 7 or 8 picks there for cards we think are going to do well in standard. And
Hullbreaker Horror was another good one.
Yeah.
It's a pretty obvious one, though.
Yep.
And it's a Kraken Horror, Morgan.
They also printed a card, the very first time they've printed a card with Defender and Vigilance together, Paul.
The Judge!
The Faithbound Judge.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. The art looks cool. I bet it looks sweet in foil.
I bet you it does. So that's Crimson Vow in a nutshell. Looking pretty good. Pretty strong for vampires if you like your vampires. The Count Draculas look freaking fantastic. Make sure you get yourself a box if you want to get one of those Castle Draculas. I mean, you don't have to. You could buy a Castle Dracula on the open market afterwards.
Yeah. That is the buy box, so that's cool.
For me, myself, I think that buying a box to open will be fun because I do like the flavor of this set. And don't worry, we're going to open some collectors for you guys on channel, obviously.
Probably tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're going back to Tabletop Giant, baby.
But those will be draft boosters because...
you got to start somewhere.
Yeah. But it'll be fun. We'll be early, so...
All right, moving along to the second part of the MTG Finance Weekly, Morgan. Let's go into the top 5 eBay sales this past week.
Yeah.
It's always fun. Some eye candy. Starting off number 5, 7.5 graded Alpha Wheel of Fortune, Morgan. What do you think?
Graded by who, Paul?
CGC again.
Okay.
We've been talking about them more and more.
Yep, they're a comic book grading company, I believe they're called. That's an expensive Wheel of Fortune.
That's just Wheel of Fortune, man.
Less than 1,100 of that Wheel of Fortune.
19 bids is from David Adams Card World, so it's a pretty legit auction.
Yep.
Nice card.
Yep, very nice.
Number 4, we get into our first shady kind of auction we've been tracking so far in the top 5 weekly segment we've been doing. Hit the sub button if you like it.
Yep.
This card sold 2 weeks ago.
Yes, is it a Black Lotus, Paul?
It is. From the same seller. It sold for $13,000 October 22nd.
So,
and here it is again for $10,000.
What do you think happened? Do you think the buyer canceled, the seller canceled?
Probably the buyer canceled.
Because he didn't get what he wanted?
And there was an interesting update from eBay about bid retracement.
Yes.
This past week, too.
Yep.
They're cracking down on that in the collectibles industry. So we'll see if that starts to pay off. But yeah, here it is sold again. So we'll see maybe if before Christmas it gets listed one more time.
Third time's a charm, Paul.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, number 3 is... Now, this is interesting, okay? This is one of my favorite cards of all time. This is a graded BGS 8.5 Alpha Chaos Orb.
Ooh, Chaos Orb. You know what? The artwork on Chaos Orb is some of the best from ABU. I love that art.
$11,000, just over.
I've never actually flipped a Chaos Orb myself because I've never owned one.
I used to flip
I would love to flip a Chaos Orb. If anyone wants to mail us one so I can flip it.
Are you begging for a Chaos Orb?
I'll flip it once and I'll mail it back, man.
Okay, all right.
Right?
On camera flip. Nice.
Yeah.
That's from Dave and Adams again. So that's pretty legit. But we're going to just remember that for a second.
Yeah.
Because number 2, for just a little bit more money, Morgan, about another $100, this ungraded Alpha Chaos Orb sold for. And you might be saying, what? And it's because Kid Icarus sold this one.
Oh.
And this is the power of being a very trusted seller on eBay. People will pay more money because they trust you.
Yep, because they know that they're going to get something legit.
I mean, David Adams is a pretty legit lister as well.
But have you seen how much feedback Kid Icarus has?
He's got 300,000.
Yeah.
But still, David Adams has 114,000. No, sorry, 146,000.
146. It's only, dude.
That's
double.
It's double. But it gets to a point where who cares, right? Like
I do.
Once you get to 6 digits, does it matter?
I guess not. But I had never heard of
it does.
David Adams cards or whatever before.
Mainly because they're mostly the States, right?
But Kid Icarus.
Everybody, he's number 1, I would say.
That's like
on eBay, right?
Family talk. Everybody knows him, you know.
And that's what you get. More reliable, you earn more money.
Yeah.
All right. And number 1, Morgan, this week is not a Lotus.
Ooh.
It is an Alpha.
Oh, wait. Is it a Mox Sapphire?
No.
Oh.
It is an Alpha Ancestral Recall.
Oh, wow.
Not graded. This guy says it would get a 9 or an EX, but I don't know about that.
I would put that in my list.
The top looks pretty plain to me.
9.
But anyway, it's just over 11,000 as well. So it's a tight top 3 this week. Nothing too crazy, but it was interesting how that Lotus was already relisted and 2 orbs.
Throw us a comment. Let us know what you think about that Lotus, and let us know if you think that 11 grand was a little too cheap for that.
For the Lotus?
Yeah, no, for the number 1.
Oh, for the recall.
Yeah, for the recall.
Basically for the top 3, they all went for just over 11 grand.
I mean, 11 grand for an Alpha recall.
Yeah.
Seems pretty good. I don't know.
Let us know what you think, guys.
All right,
Hit
guys.
that sub button, and we're going to Tabletop Giant for some Crimson Vow.
Road trip.
Woo! See ya.